So I had this dream. Sometimes I have really vivid dreams. I've had them all my life. And I had one last night that was kind of funny, kind of like a Seinfeld episode. But anyway, here's my dream. I was on a cruise ship, and I was going through this one room where they were selling memorabilia from a pro golfer that was on the ship. And I was looking at some of the stuff, and what they really had was just a bunch of his clothes that he wore. And there was this one shirt, it was like 75 bucks, and it's like, I thought, no way, you know. But there was this white hat, it was $1. And it was kind of a cool hat because it had a full brim all the way around it, and it was a soft, you know, cotton hat. And so I thought, $1, you know, and it had his autograph on it. So I set it over on a shelf, and I looked at a couple more things, and then I walked off. Well, then I remembered I forgot the hat. So I walked back, I go into the room, and there's this little girl, about 6 years old, with the hat on, and she's got it all wrapped around her head, and she's just walking around with this hat on, and her mom's there, this blonde lady, and then this guy that he looks like he's from Germany. He's got these round wire rim glasses, and he's got one of those real sharp, you know, pin mustaches with a goatee. And I told him, I says, hey, sorry, but that's my hat. I left it here on a shelf and I walked off without it. And the lady said, well, you're not getting the hat back. And I says, well, you know, it's my hat. He goes, well, she's got it on now, and so it's her hat. And I go, you know, really, it's my hat. I left it on the shelf and I just come back to get it. And she says, fine, give him the hat. The little girl hands me the hat. And the guy says, I'll give you $1,000 for it. And he's in this German accent, you know, I will give you $1,000. And I'm thinking, this guy's dating this lady. He's trying to impress her. I go, $1,000? And I felt kind of bad taking this hat away from this little girl. And I just kind of went, well, you know what? Here, you can just have the hat back, as I'm handing it to the little girl. And the guy says, for free? And I go, and I'll take the $1,000. So he gives me a $100 bill, and then he walks over to this machine to get, like he's getting more money out of or something. And so he gets that out, and then all of a sudden I start talking to him. I'm sitting there talking to him before he's given me anything else, and I just started saying, you know, I love Porsches. I've always loved Porsches. I used to haul brand new Porsches for a distributor here in Portland, and and his eyes were kind of lighting up. The next thing I know, he's holding this trophy, this really vintage trophy at me that's got this Porsche Magnalia event that he won way back like in the 30s or something. It really looked old. And I thought, that's you? You won that? I mean, he's like this really famous race car driver. And it was really weird to see that. And other people were wanting to get his picture and stuff. And so he wound up giving me another $100 bill and a silver pin-like key. He says, you can go into the room and get the rest of your money later, you know. And the other $100 bill looked like a piece of Canadian bacon. It was shriveled on the ends, and you could kind of see through it, you know, a little bit in some areas, but it still said 100 on the corners. But anyway, that's just one of those vivid dreams that I have. I mean, every now and then I have one, and I woke up and I told Cindy, I says, even when I woke up after the dream, I go, I gotta remember this so I can tell it to Cindy. So I wake up and I remembered everything. I told her the whole story. So anyway, now I'm telling it to you. Bye.